Use the factor theorem to completely factor if the second polynomial is a factor of the first polynomial. So we will use the fact that we already know that this second polynomial is a factor of this first one. The first thing we need to do is use synthetic division. So we are going to take the opposite of this number and put it in our box. Then we need to fill in all of this other information using our 3x squared minus 375. Well, we start with a 3x cubed, and we don't have any x squareds being represented in our function, in our first polynomial. So we have 0 x cubed. We don't have any x's being represented in our first polynomial, so we need to put in another 0. And then we have a negative 375 for our constant. So now we have our setup for synthetic division. The first number we always bring down, and then we multiply 5 times 3, and that goes into the next column as a 15. Then we add these two numbers, 0 and 15 is 15. And then we just continue this process all the way down until we get a 0 remainder. So we already know that x minus 5 is a factor of this polynomial. What we need to do now is interpret our answer. And since we started out with an x cubed, we know that this first term will have an x squared, and that's a positive 15x plus 75. From here, we need to factor this polynomial now, if we are able. And as it stands, these numbers look really large. It looks like we can divide all of them by 3. So we have a common factor here, this 3. And what we have left on the inside is an x squared plus a 5x plus 15. Now we need to check if we can factor what's left on the inside. Using our split b method, I know a times c is 15 and b is 5. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to 15 and add up to 5. And I know both of these numbers have to be positive because when you multiply two positive numbers you get a positive number, and when you add two positive numbers you get a positive number. So the only numbers we can use to multiply to get 15 are 1 and 15 and 3 and 5. None of these pairs add up to the 5 that we're looking for. 1 plus 15 is 16, 3 plus 5 is 8. This polynomial does not factor any more than just this common factor of 3. So we have factored our answer as best as we can. So our final answer here will be 3x squared plus 5x plus 15. And we have to remember to always go back to our original factor and add that as part of our answer, times x minus 5. There is your completely factored form of the original polynomial 3x cubed minus 375.